You're watching Mountain Computers.
Here's something I think you guys are really going to like. Today, I'm going to be building a computer in a cardboard box. And yes, before you start complaining, I know this solution isn't going to offer the best thermals or aesthetics that I could possibly yield, but there are a few reasons which led to me deciding to take this route. The main one is size, and for those of you who have watched the video where I rebuild my PC with a Ryzen processor in a mini ITX case, you can watch that video by clicking in the upper right hand corner of this video right about now. You'll know that one of the biggest reasons I chose that form factor was for the size reduction. Now, I'm a college student, so I bring my computer home and back pretty often throughout the year, and my car's no Cadillac Escalade. It's a Honda Civic, in fact. So I have to fit all of my stuff in there when I'm moving, and this computer won't be an exception to that. One of the biggest reasons for me picking the small form factor then is because of the size. And the fact, of course, that I'll get to arrange things as efficiently as possible in that space that I'll be giving myself. So, yep. The next thing that is pretty obvious, in my opinion, is that the box is cheap. There's a lot of people on YouTube who have built computers in boxes as a gag and just because it's cheap. And the last reason is because I thought it would just make a fun, easy project. So some of you may find some of the parts in the build familiar. I won't spoil too much there. I'll let the body of the video kind of show off the components, but the last thing I think that I need to talk about before I let that part of the video roll is what I'm going to be using the computer for. And to do that, I'm going to have to explain kind of how my apartment at college is laid out. Unfortunately, I'm not there right now, or I'd just show you, but the front left corner of the apartment has my computer set up, my hi-fi system with the surround sound, and the 4K monitor that you guys saw from last video, and my desk, and they're all scrunched up together in the corner. And then sitting just to the right of that is a 55-inch Sony SXRD projection TV. It's got terrible color, since everything is shifted kind of towards the green color. Everything comes out green, but it's the largest screen that we've got. And since my PC sits right next to it, it gets delegated as our home theater PC for movies, shows, etc. So the point of this PC will be to alleviate my PC of that duty and become the new HTPC, or home theater PC. It'll be set up so that my roommate and I can both remote into it and control it to watch movies and do things like that, watch shows, the same stuff we're using mine for already, and I might even set it up as a Plex server too, we'll see, so that I can remote access my local media rather than having to have it on my PC. It's definitely got a storage drive that's large enough to handle that, but without further ado, let's roll the intro and get right into the build. As you guys saw there, I had a little bit of trouble getting into the BIOS. I realized after jumping the pins that I didn't have a keyboard, so I ran and I grabbed one. Without the case fan in there, the motherboard complains, and I've run it like that before, but so that's why you saw that issue come up with the boot up process. You also probably saw, if you were paying close attention, that it complained about the amount of RAM having gone down a little bit. So if you haven't guessed it already, this is built from spare parts that used to be in my Dell Precision T1500, a computer that I've used a lot on this channel. You'll probably see a few examples pop up in the corner there. So some of you might be wondering what happened to the rest of the T1500 then, and I'm here to say don't worry, you're gonna see that come up again before too long. I've got a surprise for a friend that I've been working on for a while now, so stay tuned for that video coming up on the channel. But the last thing I guess I have for you guys right now are some closing thoughts on the build. Starting with the positives, I guess. That 3TB drive is insane compared to anything I've owned before. I'm using a ReFS format, and man, the formatting on the drive takes up just under 30 gigabytes. That'd almost fill one of those dinky little 32 gigabyte eMMC based laptops that you see for super cheap on the market right now. And that's just in formatting space. But the remaining space has been way more than enough to accommodate all of my digital media. The box seems to get me at least enough airflow too right now to operate while it's opened up on top. And it works comfortably. It doesn't spin the fans up too much during normal use. And despite this, though, I'll definitely be trying to mount the case fan that was giving me the boot up message earlier somewhere in the case, and add some ventilation holes too in the future so that I can close the top of the box. And as for negatives, I guess I just have two. One being that the box, even though double-walled, is still just a little bit flimsy. In the video, you probably saw me test the power supply mounting by just shaking the computer pretty hard, or I guess it wasn't much of a computer at the time, but nonetheless. But it just went downhill from there, downhill. Adding more holes for the venting on the power supply, the I/O shield, and the graphics card definitely took away from the structural integrity, so I'll have to be wary when I add the ventilation holes. The aesthetic of the box, too, I guess I do have a little bit of a problem with. I'm thinking about printing some stuff to glue onto the side of it to kind of take away the cardboard box look, even though it'll kind of still be there. I don't know. I'm going to look into getting some better aesthetics anyway. And the other main problem that I had was network connectivity. So if I'd have planned ahead, I would have definitely bought a Wi-Fi dongle for the machine, but it slipped my mind. So for now I'm using my Motorola Moto G as a USB tether to give the machine internet access. So I can gain remote access to it this way. It's kind of a pain though. I can use Chrome Remote Desktop to access it, but I think since it's on its own subnet created by the Moto G, my PC doesn't recognize it as a local connection. Instead, it tries to use Chrome Remotes over the internet mode, which doesn't run well on my 1.2 megabits downstream, like half megabit upstream internet here in Montana. And I would remote into it directly using Windows native remote desktop because it even performs a little bit better in my opinion, but again, the subnet thing trips me up because I don't know how to work with it correctly. I guess the way I'll have it for now will work for now, and I'll just get a dongle in the future and alleviate that whole problem. But that's it for now, guys. That's all I have time for. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.